Hey everybody, I'm Joy with FieldHaven, and we're running the Annex Recovery Center for the fire cats here in Wailuku. So I'm going to go through a cleaning protocol and how we care for the cats that are here in our care at the Recovery Center. We have recently changed up how the Recovery Center is organized in terms of housing. So this is a brand new video with our new recovery condos here. So first I'm going to talk about our cart, which is this is everything you need to care for cats. Doing their daily cleaning and checking everything on them. So we've got, of course, food, we've got fresh water, we've got dirty water, we've got gloves if you want to use gloves, we've got hand washing, paper towels, we have feral gloves if you are working with a fractious cat, we've got Dawn in water, which is really good for just actually washing your hands in between kitties. And down at the bottom, we've got our litter, which we use pelleted pine litter here, and puppy pads. So I think, and a garbage can and a poop scooper. Very important things that we have here. So, okay, I'm going to start with this kitty here who is L743. We have cards that explain, flashcards that give the information about each cat. This kitty has a potential owner, potential match, yay! So he has what we call a yellow card. If he didn't, he would have an orange card. So each of these cards tells details, the basic details about this kitty. That he's male, he's black, we had possible owners. It would say on here that where he was trapped, and he was chipped prior to the fire. It was done as a TNR in whenever that was, November 2022, so about a year ago. And so it would also include information about where this kitty was trapped if we didn't have a potential owner. So this is a really nice way for you to have, and especially when the public is coming in, to sort of spotlight the kitties that they may be interested in looking for. Okay, so over here is our daily care sheet. A couple really important things about this. This is the date the kitty came into Maui Humane, so it was brought in from the field. This is the date that they arrived at the Recovery Center. So this sheet here has a lot of really important details, and we ask that you really take your time in filling this out. We do want to use, because kind of weird thing, sometimes when you're writing on this, a regular ballpoint pen will run out of ink. So we use these fine point Sharpies. So here's how this has worked. If Jen, are you zoomed in? Okay. So little details here. Day one, and we put the dates down here and then across the top. So day one here is the 25th, 26th, and today is what, the 28th? So we're gonna put, can't get the top off the pen. We're gonna put the 28th here. I'm gonna put my initials that I'm the one that's caring for him, and any notes I'm gonna put in here. The things we're gonna look for is, are they eating? And we'll go through this as we go into the cage. So it's either, for dry food, we separate dry food and wet food. Are they eating none? Was there none eaten, some eaten, or all eaten? Peeing and pooping or elimination is super important. So we want to track whether the cat is pooping and peeing, and if it's abnormal, then we want to put that in the notes. We have on our cart, we have what we call a poop chart. So if their poop is abnormal, so diarrhea, for example, you want to put the score in the notes over here. So if it were a score of 5, which is kind of really runny poop, you would put that here. Upper respiratory, are you noticing any signs of sneezing? And this is just basically a normal or abnormal. Normal, if it's normal, you just put an N. If it's abnormal, again, put notes over here as to what you're finding is abnormal. Don't worry about the stress score. That will be for our enrichment folks will do that, which is another group of people. But what we want to do down here is just track whether their sort of overall general behavior. Are they friendly towards you? Or are they neutral? So they're just sitting there watching you, but not really outwardly doing anything. Or they're avoiding or hiding or hissing. And then you can also put in here any additional notes regarding behavior or anything else you think is super important, okay? On the clipboards, you'll notice that there's a paper clip. I like calling them paper clips. Clothespin. We keep this clothespin and we put it on the clipboard because when you're opening and closing the cages, the clipboard will bang and make noise. So actually I need to go back because I forgot one of the really most important points about working with these cats. We want to go slow, be quiet, keep our voices low, and go very slow. So especially when you're even approaching the cats, when you go into the cage, I usually go kind of from the side. So I'm not like coming in as the big person, you know, coming into the cage. I'll open the cage and we'll go through that in a minute. But I just wanted to talk about, I should have said this in the beginning, we want to keep our voices low and movement very slow, okay? So a couple other things, this kitty has a curtain here, and that's just to give him a little extra privacy. These cats just came in a couple of days ago. They just came in 3 days ago, so they're still kind of letting down, so we're giving them their privacy, and we'll start working with each of the cats about on like day 3-ish. So today we'll start working with the cats. The cages are two-sided, so there's 2 doors. This side over here is the litter pan side, and this side over here is where we have the sleeping loft. And I'm going to just take, this guy is pretty friendly, so that's why it's good. He's a good kitty to use as a demo kitty because he's not going to mind us so much. They have a sleeping loft. They've got a little curtain, and down at the bottom we have our dining room and also our activity room back there. And you can see he's been scratching some of his cardboard off, which is good. So they're, you know, he's having some activities, trying to sharpen his claws. So before we go into the cages, just a couple things. When you're opening the cages, be very quiet. Okay, these cages can be noisy. We can clang them, but we just want to be quiet. See how quiet I was opening that, closing it, quiet. Okay, rather than the jamming it closed. When you're going in to the condo, be careful of watching the cat so the cat does not dart out. Okay, if you have a cat that's fractious or a darter, you're not sure about them, we have these little separators. So the portal here, so they can go from room to room, we can put this in here, and that closes off the portal, the little hallway, and then we can open this side, and we can freely clean this as much as we need to. Okay, so this guy here, I'm gonna come out and, oh, great poop. And he peed. This is really important. We know what goes in comes out, so we know he's eating and he's drinking, okay? Because we can't always tell if they're drinking because sometimes they knock over their water. So this is really important. So let me find my scoop, and I'm gonna just scoop this out. I'm gonna put this in here, and you know what? I'm not gonna put any fresh litter in here. This is actually pretty good. We'll let this go for one more, probably tonight or tomorrow morning. We might change it out. We want to really conserve our pellets. So if there's still kind of pellets left in there, it's just a judgment call whether you think the litter pan is really messy or not. You can just dump it out and then clean the litter pan out. You can either put the pan in for cleaning if it's really dirty, or you can use some Dawn and water and paper towels and wipe it out. Okay, but this one's pretty good. His puppy pad here is pretty clean. I'm not going to make, we don't want to do major cleaning with these cats because it's more time that we're spending with them. They sometimes they like their messiness, so that's totally okay. So we're going to put this back in, and I'm going to close this quietly, and now I'm going to come over here and I'm going to open this up. Oh, we don't want to keep you from your litter box, so we take that out. We're going to open up here, and then I'm just going to keep my eye on the cat, because if he's going to dart out, I keep a hand on here so that I can quickly pull my hand out. If you're not sure of the cat, please use one of these gloves. So if I was not sure of him, I would put this glove on, because I don't want this cat to grab my hand and chew it up before I pull it out. So I'm going to reach in, and I'm going to grab his dish, and this last night was his wet food. My God, we can practically use that all over. This is a good eater, okay? So he ate really well. We throw that away. Then we toss any dry food that's left in here, because we want to give them fresh food. We do have a bin. We have a volunteer that has some potbelly pigs that they rescued, and so we do have a bin that we can put, if there's a lot of dry food, we can put that in the bin and save that for them. I'm going to close that out, dump that out, and then I'm going to fill this up. And really, one really important thing is filling up the dish. You don't want to put it all the way to the top or mound it up. A little bit down, and then you sure shake it to level it out. Because what this allows, if we have a poor eater, especially new cats that are coming in and we're not sure if they're eating a lot, two things. One is we want to have it consistently, fill it consistently the same way. So if I come in tomorrow morning and it looks like this cat hasn't eaten, I know that it was filled to this, so I can it's down a little bit. The other thing is keep it level, because cats will eat in the middle. So if you come in tomorrow morning, and there's actually one down there that's like this, and you see that, you know that cat has eaten something. And sometimes it's just all we need to know is that cat ate a tablespoon of kibble. So keep it level like that, and then we'll put this back in here. The wet food, and I usually do not take my eyes ever off the cat, and I'm always, even if I'm turning around for a second, I latch the door, okay? So they get their wet food in the evening, so we're not going to give them wet food now. And now water, we always give them fresh water. Okay, and we dump this out. If it's icky, you can use a wet paper towel, if it, or you to clean it out, or you can just get a fresh water water bowl. And then again, we're not going to fill this all the way because we don't want them to dump it. Cats can only drink so much water in a day. So I'm going to fill it no more than halfway, depending on the size of the bowl. And put this back in. Hey, sweetheart. Close this, and we can give Miss Kurt back. I'm going to leave this open because he's pretty friendly, and I want him to be able to visualize people. It was pretty busy in here yesterday, so we were keeping the crates all, the covers on. But today I want to see how's he going to interact with us. So, I think, Jen, have I forgotten anything except charting? Oh, this, our pooper scooper. Sounds weird, but we want to clean it in between kitties. So you can just sit on in water and wipe it off with a paper towel. And by the way, we also do have gloves. Okay, so for people, anybody that wants to just wear gloves, we have tons of these, so feel free to wear your gloves. Okay, so now it's charting time. So I'm going to grab my chart. And okay, so he ate everything. He left a few kibbles, but I'm going to call that just pretty much everything. He's got normal urine, normal poops. He's not sneezing. And I'm going to say he was friendly, okay? Because he was. So he was talking. And unfortunately, these little boxes are little, so we got to write small, which is hard for me because I like to write big letters. Talking. Very, he's casually sitting in his loft. Okay, and I have a little extra space in case anybody wants to write anything later in the day, especially when they come to do enrichment. And then, last thing is, this is leaking ink all over the place, but that's okay. Last thing I'm going to do is I'm going to don my pants before I go on to the next kitty, or change my gloves if I'm using gloves, or you can also use these as well. I think, okay, if you're dealing with a fractious cat, so they're hissing and they're really helpful so we can get to the litter box, but if maybe they took their bowl and they put it all the way in the back of the cage and you can't get to it, you can use this to reach in even through here, or reach in through as you open the door and pull that bowl forward. The other thing this is really good for is we have little privacy curtains on the loft, because what is also very important, which I didn't really clearly mention, is you want to get your eyes on that cat. Are they okay? You're not going to do a full-on physical, are their eyes open? Are they squinty? Are they looking at you? Is there anything visually you can see that cat looked very, doesn't look well or something. And that would be, you would want to definitely bring that to the attention of one of the staff members, if that were the case. But if you can't visualize a kitty because he's behind his curtain, you can use this to sort of just go in and move the curtain and say, hi there, how are you doing? Notice how I'm still always standing kind of this side, because I'm not, and I'm sorry, Buddy, to do this to you, because I'm not like this, going into the cage and being this big, mean monster person on the outside of the condo. It's a condo, it's not a cage, right? Keep saying that. Okay, Jen, have I forgotten anything? Oh, when you're, when you are looking at them, when you're maintaining eye contact, blink slowly. And see, he just blinked right back at me. So that's really, that's a communication to the cats. Okay, I think that's it. Am I good? Okay, thanks everybody. Sorry for the long video, but you know what does, we want these guys to get the best care, and we want you to know all the ins and outs of caring for them. So thank you for everything you're doing with volunteering at the Annex Recovery Center. We need you all, and these kitties need you. Not we, the kitties need you, and the kitties people need you. Okay, thanks everyone. Bye.